Welcome to the Talk and Chatter experience, powered by Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson. For those who don't know me, my name is Mick from M33 Productions and I'm your host. Today's show, funnily enough, is number 1. We sit down and chat to motorcycle enthusiast, business owner and proud father Bryan Farrow. Sit back, relax and enjoy the ride. Hey mate.
What's happening?
Oh man, just done my road trip up to here.
Sick.
Finally, it's good. Good venue.
The intro's mint. That's awesome.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's
Proud father. I like that. I like that little.
Well, you are, mate.
Absolutely.
And I've been fortunate enough to hang around you a fair bit in the last 12, 18 months. And
Yep.
you just see it, apart from it's them and then motorcycles, it seems, when you're out.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah,
Which is pretty cool. So
yeah. Oh, that's definitely the missus. She's a gun. So yeah. Very, very. I'm a very fortunate man, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah, you've got a you seem to be one of these people that have got a balance. Like you really balance and your family seem to really enjoy being part of the sport and stuff as well. Is that how you feel about it?
Absolutely. Not all the time.
Yeah.
That balance is such an easy word, such a hard thing to conquer.
Yeah.
There's definitely times where I bugger it up, that's for sure. And there's definitely times where, you just have to push, especially with business, you just have to push the envelope for a period of time until you sort of achieve or get through what you need to, and then try and retrieve that balance back, I guess.
And for you, like, actually, it's a real weird one, but I think with you, Bryan, I haven't spoken to anyone on the phone as much in the past 12 months as you.
Yeah.
Mate, I've spoken to you, like, one night we were on the phone for nearly 3 hours.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's the longest phone call I've ever had.
Yeah, me too, mate. I'm like, what are we doing? I've
just kept going. I'm like, all right, we're going to wrap it up. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. And then next minute, another hour.
So damn much. And that's, one of those things. And I guess trying to find a balance amongst being a good guy amongst business and obviously being home and family is a massive thing for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
How'd you get into bikes? Like, how'd it start?
So, I've got a photo on my wall, which I love having because it reminds me I'm in my nappy, sitting on my old man shovelhead. I guess I'm about 2 there, about 2. And so my dad has been in the Harley scene since he was young, so he'd had a shovel for a lot of years, roughly from when he was about 18 till 2003. So I grew up with a little 50 and a leather jacket on, like I was the weird kid, but doomed from the start for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things, hey? It's like similar with myself being a fair-skinned individual. I grew up in a surf town and my dad said, oh, mate, you shouldn't be out in the sun. You should put motorcycle gear on. It's safer. Yeah. And I don't know, but anyway.
UV protectant.
Yeah. So anyway, here we are now and we both love bikes. And that's obviously why we're here today. So last year we went out with the old man.
Yep.
To Morgan Park.
Yep.
What was that like?
Awesome, mate. My old man can steer a bike. So when I was growing up, I always had like, as every kid does for their parents, but especially every son for their dad, he's the hero, like no one can beat him, no one can beat him up type deal, that full mindset. And so to get out and actually be able to, because my dad doesn't really ride with me on the road. He's too scared that I'll push the envelope too far and crash. And because Dad's done it a long time and he knows how competitive I am. So realistically, I've only ridden with my dad sort of once or twice in a very slow manner on the road. Frustrating pace for sure. So to be able to actually get out and blow the cobwebs out with the old man was massive, mate. Dad loved it. I loved it. I never ever thought I'd see my dad in leathers for another thing or a full face. He's quite claustrophobic. So putting a full face on, he freaks out. And I think we got there and he was like, I don't know if I want to do this. It's all a bit much. And I sort of pushed him across the line a little bit to get it done. We'd gone so far to do it. So he had the best day, mate. As soon as the day was done, he was already getting better brakes on his bike, getting better suspension on his bike, getting ready for round 2, he loved it.
And you just rode there too, didn't you? Or
yes, yeah.
There and back?
No, I didn't get to ride back because I wore through my primary, so it was unrideable on the way home.
Yeah, but you were overtaking everyone on the track.
Yeah.
Like there was no, it wasn't one of these things, oh, it's a Harley, blah, blah, blah. Like you're you're not an ego person, but you were hooking.
Yeah, we were in the slow group. So It's probably, to be honest, mate, I reckon everyone should do it because there was people out there, some chicks out there that didn't look like they've been riding very long and more so utilising the track to build a skill set, which was sick. Obviously, you give them people plenty of room. So I keep a pretty open mind on that stuff, but I didn't really feel like there was any shit, you know. I could go out, ride my bike. As once as they could see that we weren't leaving oil everywhere and weren't breaking down, everyone was really accommodating and it was good fun, yeah. But we're definitely in the slow group, so I don't think it's much of a feat to be the quickest one out there on the slow group, you know.
It's good to see. It was good to see, and you know, I've done sports bikes for a bit and whatnot. Yep. And it was, I feel there's a real turn of the tide of Harleys and that coming to the track. Obviously, the boys that we all hang around with are starting to look into it, and it's nice to see. And you know, your bike was more than capable. And you know, you've shown on many occasions that you do take them everywhere. So the track's probably the minimal one. What was the bike at the start? How long you ride? How did all that take place? Like you're obviously saying about that, but tell us more.
So that bike in particular, or just
just go through a few, mate.
That bike in particular. Well, let's start the bike before because it makes a better story. So the bike before, I built a street bob, and pretty much went to the max 124, all the trimmings, 140 horsepower, 150 foot-pound of torque, and every piece of gear I could fit on it, put on, you know, better brakes, everything. So it was too much. Like the thing would have been great at the track, but for trying to do stunts and everything, like the thing was just wild, you know. So I learnt a lot from that bike of how far you can push things. Doesn't necessarily mean you should, you know. So that taught me a lot to build a product for someone, for them, you know. Just because you can have more power doesn't really mean you need it, you know. So this bike, it's a stock 103 cube wise, just with a small torque cam saw plate, oil pump, all the trimmings in there, welded balance crank to keep it long lasting. But as far as power and that goes, it's not fast. Like it's a standard Harley, you know. So standard brakes, Lindell pads in there, which make a big difference with the standard brakes, but standard brakes. So you can literally go out, put some good suspension under it for sure. Legend suspension, chuck that there, makes a world difference. Chuck that in, go ride. That's all you need. Yeah, and a good seat to hold you.
Pretty basic.
Yeah, absolutely. Really? Oh, mate, the seat's huge. So even at the track day, I noticed like, because I got a bit of a gripper on my lumbar of my seat on the backrest. That gripper, because I'm trying to hang off the bike, especially in those leathers were slippery. Like I'd be quicker in jeans and skate shoes for sure. Yeah. So I couldn't hang off. I felt like I was just going to topple off. So having a good seat helps lock you in. So you literally, the bike's doing everything. You're not really hanging on, you know? Yeah.
We're up here at your facility today.
Yep.
How'd you get into the shop? Are you like mechanic by trade, or how did that all start?
Yeah, so I worked for Harley for roughly 8 years, and then just down the sunny coast here. Great place, mate. It was awesome. John Faithful was my first boss. Really good guy. Hard ass for sure, which is good, you know. I learn a lot more as I do this. You kind of got to be. When I was younger, I thought he was a hard ass. Now it all sort of come to fruition a bit that it's a necessity. But yeah, so I started there. I was doing cylinder heads beforehand, and then Harley offered me the job. So I went down, got into that at 17, and then did that for roughly 8 years. Then me and the wife travelled for 20 months. I'd come back. I was actually going back there to get my job and wasn't really greeted with open arms, so I started thinking a little bit differently. And the old man had a bit of space out the back. So why don't you just put the bench I got, put it there, make a bit of room and see what happens. Literally sweeping the floor, making room. A guy come in and was like, "Oh, your old man just said you're doing Harleys. Can I get a service?" And mate, literally, I used to help Dad a couple of days a week, and Dad always jokes and says now he's got to help me a couple of days a week, you know, like, wow. Yeah, it was really cool. Very fortunate that Dad let me do it too. He didn't charge me any rent for quite a while, mate, to get me on my feet, and I couldn't thank him enough for that.
What's his background?
So driveline, so tail shafts. So he does make some. He's very, it sounds like such a simple job, bit of tube, you know, and anytime you say to someone he does tail shafts, they go, "Oh, he must be broke," you know, like that can't be a good going thing. Every car, full drive, it's got tail shafts, and it's front wheel drive. But it's a great little business. I did a bit when I was younger, so got to learn how to use the lathe and the mill basically. Definitely not a wizard on them.
And that's an art, isn't it?
Oh, the old man's a gun at it, mate.
Really?
Like, and even he'll say he's not that good at it, but he is, you know. Like, but we just don't need to do that much on them. We're not having to make a wheel. We're just normally cutting spaces to length and making for the trackers, making all the disc and the pulley spaces. That's it, you know. Like, it's not really rocket science, that stuff. So we can utilize it for that. The old man can utilize it for a bit more. Anything past that, we outsource it for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. Because it is. Unless you're doing it every day, it's an art piece. And you know, automation now is, you know, your CADs and whatnot machines and mills, CNC, whatever. It's huge, eh? Like,
Watching them draw all that stuff up into the computer and then just hitting start. That's like, you watch all that machine porn on Facebook and you get lost there for like half an hour looking at a lathe working. Like,
apart from bikes, it's probably one of the things that you do get lost in. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think so. You know, like you look at things like water cutting, laser cutting. Just see the machine just take over. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it's the start of robots.
Yeah, it won't be long.
Nah, it won't be long.
Yeah.
So, what about last year? You got to go to the States.
Yep.
What was that all about?
So, mate, I pretty much owe not all of that, but a lot of that to Dean Ross, actually. So, Rossi's a gun, mate, and he's created, he, in my eyes, kicked off all of this madness with Harley in Australia, right? So the Harley wheelies, the flat track, and he may not have kicked it all off, but in my eyes, that's the guy I seen, you know, like that's the guy I seen doing all the dumb shit, and I'm like, oh, what is this guy doing? Like, I want to do that. So, and then Rossi put together an event, Oz Hooligan X, so we all got down to actually race pretty much hooligan rules as close as we could down at his event. And I just caught the bug, you know, like got down there. The track was, we all rode the same track, so it is what it is, but it was definitely a little bit challenging. And but everyone had a great time. Midday would be riding the drag strip, doing wheelies and skids, and then I was literally in my motocross gear on my dyno, and then getting back racing flat track and back and forward. And obviously the parties at the night are just as much fun. I don't think I've raced, apart from in the States, and one race here without a hangover. But yeah, so from that, sort of got the bug happening, and then I seen the qualifier for, I won that event. It was the first time I ever really tried flat track. So I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm not too bad at this, you know, like I would have been stoked with the top 5. And me and James Gamble shot down, and I actually come first and second. So both of us, we're like, oh shit, we got to give this a crack, you know. And then so started obviously changing the build of the bike a little bit, getting a little bit more involved in it, make it look a bit cooler, because we essentially went down on road sportsters with flat track tyres on them, you know. Jimmy just had a rear street tyre on that he carved up, and he didn't even have a tracker tyre on there.
Damn.
So hats off to him. If he had a decent tyre, he probably would have smoked me. But yeah, so that all started, sort of lit the fire under my ass to start getting things together and being like, oh, I could probably do this, you know. And then the thing come up for X Games. You needed a Harley dealership to back you to get into it, because Harley sponsor it, right? So then I was like, oh shit. And Scott from Sunny Coast actually got onto some guys in the States, and I could have got one of the guys in the States to sponsor me to do it, but luckily Marcus from Harley Australia got it together for me, and Harley Australia sponsored me for the event. When I say sponsored, I mean like they've just put their name on me so they could get me in, you know?
It's not like there's this blank check, go racing in America.
No, not at all.
It's just a recommendation.
Exactly. Yeah,
right.
yeah. Just so that I could get a tour, which I'm hugely grateful for. Yep. And then then there was a matter of trying to get a bike over there. We didn't have time, so anything we looked at, I couldn't even finish the bike I was building, to be honest. We were so busy with the workshop. So then obviously I was looking at buying a bike over there, and I spoke to Denny Ruthless over there. Never met the guy, barely spoke to him on Instagram, hit him up to buy a bike for me, you know, like, and he was like, yeah, dude, send me the money and I'll find you one. So I sent him $5.5 grand, I think, or maybe a little more. I can't really remember. To a guy I'd never met, barely spoken to, and just trusted him. Like just talking with him seemed like he had good love for the culture and everything. I told him what I wanted to do with the bike, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, let's get it done." So he went right out of his way to find me a bike, and mate, I hope he comes to Australia one day so I can repay the favour. So he found me a bike, haggled with a few dudes pissed him off as well. So I was like, because he's a straight shooter, so and I was like, I really feel bad because he's gone out his way and then guys are pissing him off. So, but he found me a bike, found me a Sports to Sport, which I now have back here as well, which I'm super stoked about, but found me a Sporty Sport, got over there. When I got there, I actually lost my license in Australia before I left. So one of my mates was meant to come and he had some stuff come up. So he landed in LAX and had to fly home. So I had no license, no way of hiring a car, nothing. So I sort of caught Ubers. I had a few mates living in just out of Hollywood, and James. So I crashed on his couch. He got me around to places, had a few nights on the piss with him. Then went from there, got out to, he gave me a lift out to Danny's. So Danny had the bike at his house, got a lift out to Danny's house, which is awesome house, even better bikes, and talking shit with him for a bit. Hopped on the bike with my motocross helmet on. So hopped on my bike, no license, no insurance, no
what a recipe.
Oh mate, recipe for disaster. So hopped on that. At least then I had a way around. So I basically just had my backpack on with all my stuff in it, all my belongings, and then away I went, So, and then I was just sort of hopping from hotel, motel, from wherever I could. Now my next dilemma was actually making the bike ready to race.
So the bike you're cruising around LA on,
yeah,
is the bike you plan to race
yes.
in the qualifier?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I had nowhere to do it.
Mm.
So there's a brand in Canada called Crooked Clubhouse, and I do a bit with them, and Johnny's a legend, really, really cool dude. And he was coming out for Born Free as well, which is just after the qualifier. So I'm talking away with him. I'm like, dude, do you know anyone around here? I'm in San Clemente area, I believe, near Newport.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, I'll have a look, I'll let you know. So he got onto Seth Enslow. Seth Enslow is really good mates with Gustin Motorsports. So he talked to them for me. Mate, those guys, literally I turned up, just rode in on the Sporty with a backpack full of chain, sprockets, suspension, spacers for wheels. I didn't even have a rim. Danny Ruthless lent me a 19-inch rim. Right, like this is crazy how much I had to pull together, and the community rallied behind me, So anyway, pull up to Gustin's. They're like, yeah, mate, no worries. Here, we got a bench for you. Set me up with a bench. Let me use every tool in their facility. And they're busy, mind you. Like, they got bikes all over this shop, and I feel bad now because I forget their names. Matt, Gav, and anyway, Graham, sorry, not Gav, Graham, and the other dude was a legend as well. Anyway, so I'm working away with them, getting the chain drive on, getting things sorted, but I can't set it up too much because it's my only mode of transport.
Yeah.
So literally I've got the chain drive on, I've got suspension on, had to leave all the guard and everything on, put some bars on, did all that, still ripping around the streets, right? And then the dude whose name I can't remember, he took me riding up through the hills of Laguna Drive or something like that. No, anyway, this mountain range. So I went riding with all them on Jap bikes, and he's like, mate, when we lose you, just keep going. We'll pull over somewhere and you'll find us. I'm like, yeah, no worries. I've never had any dramas with keeping up with people before, even on the Harley, And so I was quietly confident that I was going to hang, and then I ended up running on the way down, running up the front and pushing the guys on the Jap bikes around, But we went for a ride up this mountain range and it was awesome. And then so got all that sorted, and then lost me train of thought there, sorry. So got all that sorted, then come back, met with Rossi. Rossi was in town hanging out with Rusty Butcher, Mark. So caught up with them. Rossi took me to Biltwell. I got some bars off Biltwell. But mate, they're another group of people that are legends. You know, they open arms.
So where are they based at? They in LA as well? Somewhere
Yes.
around LA,
Yep.
obviously a suburb of LA.
Yep, exactly. So then cruised in there, walked in, and he was like, "What do you need?" I said, "Oh, I need a set of bars." He's like, "Here's bars. You want some grips? Yeah. What else you need?" I just felt like the guy just would have gave me anything I needed right then and there, just out of the kindness of his heart. You know, I tried to pay for it, and that cost me a lot of money that trip. You know, like so I wasn't exactly flash with cash. You know, so which made it even more grateful. And he's like, "Mate, just put a sticker on your swing arm, I'll be wrapped." I was like, "Oh, of course, you know, like absolutely." So, and then same with Mark Butcher, Rusty, whatever you want to call him. He let me use his workshop. I crashed in one of his rooms one night. Mate, that man is hungry in a good way. You know, I don't think hunger's a bad thing. Hungry in a good way. He's very business orientated. He's all over it. You know, like he's
smart, isn't he?
Dog with a bone, mate.
Yep.
Does 24/7. That's hard to find, especially in our trade, because you can get lost. You know, like you get, especially at his level, you can get lost in the hype and all the bullshit. You've already made it. Give up. Like, just stay where you are. He's constantly building blocks. Like, he's just someone I look to. That like when I'm like, oh, I'm pretty knackered. You know, I'm like, that dude does not stop. So. But yeah, so then got the bike more together. The day 2 days before the race, put it together, tracker setup, because Graham lent me his race van, so I could put it in the van for a couple of days. So get it fully set up for dirt. Me and Rossi went and did a quick little practice right when they were closing out at
one of the flat track places there?
Motocross track that had a mini flat track there.
Oh, Pella?
Might have been, yeah.
I think it's got one.
Pala, yeah. So went out there and ripped around, and for a few laps, mate, that thing handled like a pig, and I couldn't really do much. You know, I couldn't push the forks anymore. Being a sports to sport, bottoming out on the bars pretty quick, and I couldn't really get comfortable. You know, beforehand, I never really thought bike setup was that important, but I just could not get comfortable on that bike. So then, the day before qualifying, they actually took us to the track and wanted us to do just a little race around for the cameras, because there was us and the Brazilians. And because we were coming from so far away, X Games did a little piece on all of us. So we got to ride the track beforehand, and which would have been good if I could change something, but I was stuck with the setup I had, so it didn't really give me any advantage, that's for sure. Rossi and Josh were flying straight off the bat, you know, like I had nothing for them, which was very frustrating. And then, so they were ripping straight away. And then next day got there, did qualifying, got put into our heats, did terrible qualifying. First race, I think I got 5th. And you needed to get top 3 to qualify for X Games. And then last race, I got 3rd, and you needed to be first to qualify for X Games in the last one. So I missed out. And I was quite gutted, especially in the beginning. I was very... felt like I let a lot of people down, you know. Had a lot of support here. Rolly Speed Shop gave me a lot, you know. The biggest person I felt like I let down was the wife, obviously, being away from the family, doing all that. But obviously talking with her, and then, other sponsors, but talking with the wife, she was just so proud that I even had the guts to go and do it, you know, and Isla watching the race and my mum and all that. And so I quickly sort of give myself a little uppercut and got over it. But yeah, definitely still, if I was to do it again, I would be a lot more prepared, you know. I feel like I could talk about this subject for ages, because there's heaps of little things. Like, while I was at the races, Twitch, another person, huge idol, lent me all his tools. I'm like trying to gin around. I met Tyler Berriman, one of my mates works for Red Bull. Met Tyler Berriman at Red Bull, had lunch with him. They took me through the whole Red Bull facility, which is huge. Wow. Huge, dude. Like, that was nothing I ever thought.
So is that the one that's got like the athlete center and the whole lot?
Yep. Wow. Yep. So there were people there doing recovery and stuff. Tyler was there doing recovery. And then Tyler organised through Twitch, because Twitch was hiring out a flat track. So I forgot I actually went out and rode with Twitch and Buddy Suddle and Tyler Berriman and Mark and Rossi and dudes that like they're up there guys, you know, like, and that was just a huge achievement for me, you know, like just to actually sit around with that caliber of people and realize that they're normal, which even sounds weird when I say it, because when you see them, they're bigger than Ben-Hur, you know. I've watched them, we've all watched them since we were knee-high to a grasshopper, like Crusty Demons. Like, it's the thing that set everything off. Same thing with Seth Enslow. Seth took me to his house. Me and Seth just hung out.
He's just a dude, isn't he?
He lent me Big Bubba's boots.
Really?
Yeah, because I was going to buy boots. He's like, nah, don't do that. I've got some at home. Just wear these. They're Bubba's. He barely wears them.
So this is for the racing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, like, this is what I mean. Like, the community is huge, you know? Like, it's just like a big family, you know? Like, if you're giving something a crack and they're like, this dude's, he's having a go, you know? Like, they'll rally behind you for sure. And so hung out at Seth's place. His place is sick too. Like, he had a table there, a glass table, with stuff in there, like weaponry-wise, that's normal over there. We never see here, you know. Like, I was like, whoa, this dude's got some stuff.
How like, I've done a bit of time in the States. How did you find having guns around? It's different, isn't it, for us?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. We don't see them.
No.
You know what I mean?
Which
Like,
makes it different. Like, it's
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh.
you sort of taken back, aren't you?
Yeah, I was like, that's a gun in a table. Why is there a gun and knives in a table? Like, here you'd be locked up.
Yep.
Or you think you're some badass gangster or something, you know? There, it's normal.
Yep.
It's just Joe's got them. Of course Joe's got them. You're allowed to have them.
He needs them.
Yeah, of course he needs them. But, which is, super cool. And, so huge thank you to Seth as well, obviously, because he was cool. Mate, Tyler Berriman as well. Like, that dude is the man.
Yep.
Wins gold medals. He's the man. And, hey, dude, what's happening? Boom, boom, boom. Like, just talking away, normal Joe. If you didn't know who he was, you'd have no idea. You know, no idea at all. He's just a kid that likes to ride dirt bikes. That's it. That's all he is, which is super cool.
It is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess the same goes with Seth, doesn't it? Like with the Harley side of it, like he absolutely froths the brand. So,
loves it. Yeah, I remember seeing him on a Harley at a Crusty Demon show at Brisbane Entertainment Centre. Jumped off the side of one of the kickers, which I thought was better than a backflip back then, and then did a burnout.
Yep.
Inside the stadium. What a legend.
Yeah, for me growing up, there wasn't, away from the racing world, he was the guy.
Yes.
Like Krusty was. There was.
Dude, he's like Evel Knievel.
Yeah.
He's achieved massive things.
Yep.
But anyone talks about Seth, like, dude, did you see that crash?
Yeah.
Because he had the biggest set of balls of any man on a bike in that era, right? Yep. So first thing that comes to mind when I think of Seth is when he sent that sand dune in Crusty 1 or 2, the first time he come on, just to the abyss, like just sent it into nothing, landed, got smashed. I think it was his mate's 252 stroke from memory. First time on a 252 stroke, just sent it, nearly died, and now he's in Crusty. Yep. He's the man.
Yeah, and he was like, that era, we got to meet him last year. He came on Gypsy Tales when I was doing my stuff with Jace and blah, blah, blah. And he, just some of the stories that he has from that era as well. Like, they made shift riding gear was because of him.
Really?
Yeah, well, there's a story. The story was, I think, like at the time, it was such a race brand, blah, 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 because freestyle, they invented freestyle at that time, you know. And it sounds crazy, but
it was free riding.
It was just free riding, you know, in the hills and the foothills and whatnot. And at the time, Fox seen business enterprise with it. Yep. And I think he was the first shift rider for shift riding gear.
Sick.
Seth Onslow. And now shifters, you know, Fox is obviously the top in that sort of brand range, but it's there.
Absolutely.
Like, it's so close to it. So, the legacy he's left, especially for our sort of era, it's incredible.
Dude, all those guys, you know, all of them, the Ronnies, the Mikes, all of them dudes, Twitch, Brian Deegan, they have earned to sit on their ass
Yep.
and just reap the reward, you know? They created this badass thing that is now Nitro Circus, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. That's what it's morphed into.
Yep.
And and Berryman was just a real cool dude, eh?
Oh, super cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Chilled as. Yeah, absolutely. Because Preston, my mate Preston in the States, like I was saying, he works for Red Bull. And he was like, oh, yeah, Tyler, me and Tyler are tight, dude. I'll introduce you. I was like, you know Tyler Berryman? What? And he's like, yeah, dude, I know Tyler. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I would love to meet him. And to be honest, I thought it would be like handshake, hey, what's happening?
Yep.
See you later, dude. I've got things to do. Saved my number. Got on to me to let me know that Twitch had hired that track out. Like a proper dude.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how were the tracks?
Oh, crazy.
Like
So
very hard pack, isn't it?
at Industry Hills where the race was,
Yep.
really hard pack. Very easy to override, which is something that I'd never had before. I hadn't ridden something like that before.
What do you mean by override?
Well, if you mentally rode slower, you were quicker. Pardon me. If you were backing the bike in, for me, if I was backing the bike in, I was slower because I was losing too much time in my slide on the way in and had to regather and go again. You sort of had to gentle, get a little bit of a full throttle, back off, like road racing it. Yeah. Basically, essentially, you're road racing the dirt track.
No front brakes, eh? Hooligan?
No front brake.
What is a hooligan bike for people that don't know?
Okay, so hooligan bike, now I could miss out a couple of things here, but 19-inch wheels, first off, that's the main part, right? So 19-inch wheels, no front brakes. The reason why there's no front brakes, you don't need them, right? So backing it in slows you down. So sometimes you don't need brakes at all. There's a lot of people out there that barely use them, which I know might sound funny for people, but sliding it in does slow the bike down, and that's the advantage because you get more time on the gas. So it's only rear brake, dual 19s, and then everything else is a compromise, basically. Everyone sort of sets them up a little bit differently. Some people go crazy high to get the right brake. I've got adjustable offset triple trees on my bike that are wider as well from FabTech Creations. So they allowed me to have a wider triple tree, which helps with stability, and change my offset, which is literally making your bike longer or shorter.
So this is for rake?
No, offset.
What do you mean?
So two different things.
Yep.
Rake changes the angle of your fork, so you're actually angling them. Offset literally makes it longer. So the rake stays the same, but you're putting basically a spacer to space your forks. Same rake, straight out or straight in.
Increase your wheelbase.
Exactly.
Stability. Yep, makes sense.
Exactly. So if you want more stability, you make it longer. If you want it to slide more, say the track's really grippy and you want it to slide more, you shorten it. If the track's slippery, lengthen it. More stability. Yep. The shorter it is, the more nimble it is. The longer it is, the more stable it is. Long track, long. Short, slippery, short.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
We'll break it down.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for the bikes?
Pretty much, mate. Everything else comes down to rider after that. Bar setup, seat setup, suspension, gearing, chain drive gearing. Like, for us here, not a massive thing because it's not that big here yet. But you wait in a few years, once it really kicks off and people are taking it past what it is now and start to actually take it serious, you'll find people that are changing gear ratios and have 4 or 5 sprockets there for each track just in case they want to mix it up. Yeah.
And how do you get your 19 set up? What's a common scenario for people to get it? Like, say they get their bike, they've got a 21-inch front. How do you navigate that?
Yep.
Is it a rear wheel in the front?
Yes, it is.
That's what it is?
Yes. So if it's spoked, it's real easy, right? So all you do is get a 19-inch front, spoke the outer 19 on the back. Take your 16 off, spoke the 19 on, done.
Yep.
If you want mags, it's getting harder and harder to buy 19-inch mags because everyone wants them setting up a tracker or they want them on their dyno or whatever. So if you've got mags, 19 front and back, then you've got to machine spacers to make it all work, and it's a lot more ginning around. If you have spokes, you can use your original rear hub. You don't have to do any spacing, no buggerizing around, just lace it on, ride it.
Yeah, nice and simple.
Jelly bean tyres. So I've tried a few different tyres. Most people really love the Dunlops.
Yep.
I never felt comfortable on the Dunlop. I felt like the front gave away a little bit too much.
So what do you go, the Maxxis?
Maxxis are awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Maxxis are really good. Quite expensive, but do last for the amount of grip you get. And I'm running Shinkos at the moment. So Rob from Overland Tyres in Karoi, he's done a heap of that kind of stuff. And he's like, dude, I've got these Shinkos here. And Rossi is obviously sponsored by Shinko. And I always thought he was like just hyping it up because he's backed by them, you know.
Of course.
But Rossi doesn't talk shit, so he'd tell me anyway. But so I tried the Shinkos out. They're brilliant. Love them.
Really?
Yep. Fair bit cheaper than the Maxxis, but they don't last as long as the Maxxis, so it kind of weighs out. And then so oil tracks, brilliant. Maxxis and Shinko. They're not meant to be as good as if the track's fluffy or requiring more of like a dirt bike grip. The Dunlop is meant to be better, but I still feel more comfortable on those tyres.
Wow.
Like Conondale, full grass track. We got there, there wasn't a speck of dirt. All grass, mate, like a paddock. And then by the end of the day, I was coming out of corners and wheel standing. The front wheel was coming off the ground. There was that much grip, you know? And I still feel better on the more road style flat track tyre.
You've and we'll get back to the America stuff, but you've done a bit of the stuff at Conondale now, the grass track, haven't you?
Yes. Yep.
It's good fun, isn't it?
Awesome, mate. That Conondale, mate, they're a brilliant club too. Everyone there is really accommodating. I know how we were saying before about, you know, people being accommodating with the road racing and all that with the Harleys. Mate, when we turned up anywhere for the first time, we were looked at like fucking idiots. Like, why is this dude here on a Harley, on a flat track even, right? Let alone a motocross track or whatever. So the first time we get there, everyone's like, oh, these blokes aren't even going to make it round. And, no, where's the trailer? And you get all the jokes.
The
right?
usual stuff.
Yeah. So, and Brisbane flat track, they pretty much give us our first go, right? So I forget the guy's name there, but legend, super cool dude.
Is it Castles?
At Nudgy there?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. But Mitch OG59, he pretty much set all that up for us to get out there. Got out there, got racing, and the commentator out there was a dick. My mum's about 4'0", and she was going to go up there and flog him. I couldn't hear anything because I'm riding, but he had all the Harley jokes, you know, and thought he was a legend. We're trying to build something, and he's taking the piss, you know. And people even watching were like, these dudes are ripping. Like, there's no need for this, you know. Like, these dudes are ripping. So and the guy that ran Nudgy, that's no reflection on him because he was offered as well. Yep. Everyone there it was just this one individual, nothing to do with the club or anything like that. It was one individual. And over time, that has petered away. Now we turn up and they're like, oh, I seen these dudes at Conondale flying around. The thing, we draw more crowds on them than someone with actual skill on a dirt bike.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I say to people all the time, you're riding a Harley on the dirt, you're already cool. You don't actually need to be fast. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a bonus if you can. But you will draw a crowd because they sound good. They're not meant to be there. They look cool. Everyone looks at a Harley like a fat boy on the road doing 60 in an 80 zone, you know? So for them to see it ripping around a flat track, I actually raced it on the motocross track at Conondale too against the dirt bikes.
How was that?
Awesome.
Really?
Awesome. So same thing. Got there. The track was rough. They'd done a really good job watering it. A little bit much, you know, which is great because at the end of the day, the track was mint. Like, they did an awesome job, but it was super rough. So, like, the ruts were deep. The guys on the dirt bikes were struggling, you know. Like, they're like, dude, I don't think you're going to make it round. Like, this is pretty gnarly. And I was like, fuck. I'm going to look like a dick if I line up and I can't make it round. So, first race, I actually come 6th.
Seriously?
Yeah. Wow. So on the Harley. So I sort of buggered up my settings a little bit with the Legend suspension. I thought because it was rough, I should have ran them stiffer, but I shouldn't have. I should have ran them a bit softer because I was running them too stiff because I was worried about them bottoming out. They're going to bottom out anyway. You're on a motocross track. It's not, you know, nothing's made for that. So it beat me up. My back, I whole-shotted too. I whole-shotted the second race of the day. I whole-shotted.
What were you racing against?
CR 500s, KX 500s, 450s. So it's pre-95 class I went in. So there
there's
were
a big selection of bikes.
huge selections.
That's
Yep.
cool.
Yeah. So the second race, I whole shotted. I think by the time we come over Drunks, which is a fair way, like you go up and down the hill a few times, come round, go around that sort of dam section, back around through the S-bends over Drunks. I might have been in like third or fourth or something. And then coming down around the flat corner around that big oak, or big tree. And they just watered it. Fine on a dirt bike, terrible on a Harley because it's just too much weight. I lost the front just holding it on full lock for felt like 10 Ks, about 2 seconds, but just hold, went down. Chick actually, because there was women's in that race as well, she ran over me, my fault obviously, was on top, she got off, I'm like, oh, I was stuck. The exhaust is burning my leg, I'm stuck under the thing. I'm like, oh, she's like, sorry. I'm like, nah, it's my fault, but could you please get this bike off me? So this chick like lifts the Harley off me.
Wow. What an experience.
Gets me going again. And then I was chasing, trying to get some guys back, obviously. Like I was trying to be competitive, you know. I didn't want to go there and come last. Everyone would be happy with last, you know, spectator-wise. It's a Harley. It should be last. That's not what I wanted. You know, I'm so competitive. Once I put that helmet on...
You're driven on it.
Very, mate.
Yep.
Yeah. Once I put that helmet on, I'm not naturally skilled, right, at anything I do. For me to be average at anything, I have to grind my ass off and obsess over it to get better than average, you know. So that comes for the Harleys, that works great because I'm used to having a grind, you know, like the Harleys aren't meant to be ridden this way, so you've got to grind to get to it. And then so as I was chasing a few guys back down, I actually ripped the tube and got a flat, so that sort of wrecked that. But I was racing, I hadn't raced in years. Did a little race at Day in the Dirt, which really doesn't count, but haven't raced in years, probably, I don't know, six years, maybe longer. And I lined up on the Harley. It was 18-minute moto or something, then a 12-minute break, and then I raced the dirt bike as well. So I was almost back to back because I was preparing myself for Finke. So I was trying to just thrash myself and keep consistent so that my last lap on the Harley was not that bad from my first lap, you know, trying to just stay consistent, good speed, same with the dirt bike. You know, I wasn't trying to beat anyone or anything, especially on the dirt bike. The dirt bike was all about fitness for me. The Harley, I was trying to push harder on the Harley than what it was the dirt bike because that's what I had to ride.
It's just trying to ride to a heart rate. Just ride a fitness thing. Try and keep that out.
Yep. The Harley, I tried to push myself to breakdown point. The dirt bike was solely endurance. Yep. Just to try and get ready for Finke, you know. I was trying to do everything.
And that was the whole reason for you to go to Conondale, wasn't it?
Yep.
Was for Finke.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
How's that? So this year, Finke, obviously, can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, you had a plan for Finke.
Yep, sure did.
It was a good plan.
Yep.
And situation, Finke's been cancelled for 2020.
Yep.
Or postponed.
Cancelled. Yeah. Not even postponed.
What a shame, hey?
Oh, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that put way more and have way more invested than what I was. So that's one thing I always think about. I'm like, you know, there's many people out there that put way more in than what I have. But basically my goal for quite a while has been to be the first Harley to finish Finke. And then I did a bit of I could never find anything that a Harley had even tried to do it. I've heard rumours that there's been a Harley tried to do prologue before, but that might have been as far as it went, but I couldn't actually find anything. So sort of been, I guess, hunting for something for a little while without realising, put my stamp on a little bit, you know, like, and I think Finke was going to be it for me to probably let me relax a little bit on that side of things, on the extreme side of things, probably make me relax a little bit more and just take a bit of a step back from it all. Definitely, I didn't really realise until me and the wife talk about all this kind of stuff, obviously, and we were just talking one day. I was like, shit, maybe I am searching for something, you know, like maybe I'm searching for that one thing that's like, that's the dude that did that. That's the guy that did this, you know, like, and which I, like, if someone had asked me, I'd be like, fuck no, like, I'm not searching for something. Like, you lost your mind. But obviously I am, you know, so that was going to be my thing. And I'd spoken about it with Rossi when we were in the States.
Yep.
So, because me and him spent a shitload of time together and had even more beers and a ton of M&Ms. And we spoke about it, and then he was like, yeah, I want to do Finke too. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, as much as, like, that's the guy I want to do it with, it's also the guy you don't want to do it with. Because if anyone's going to smoke you, it's him.
He's talented, eh?
The dude's a beast as well.
Yep.
Like, he's a strong man, you know, like, and he will not give up. You could pass him at a rate of knots, he will pass you back. He will not give up. Not that I have passed him. Well, actually smoked him at his event. I'll bring that up because he'll love that. But I've never, like, he's the dude. He's the guy. Like, he's the fast guy in Australia, you know, like every aspect, whether it's Harley wheelies, flat track racing, riding him on a motocross track, anything to do with Harley, he's the man, you know. So, so like I say, great to do it with him because the dude's a legend. We get along like a house on fire. Rarely say a good word about each other. It's
True mates.
Yeah, true, real mates, you know. And if he's up here, I'd do anything for him. When I went down there, mate, him and Tish run me around, shouted me lunch, like they're legends. And then, so we sort of created a bit of a plan. I was working out with Levi at 547 Performance, and he was getting me ready. My fitness was piss fit. Like, I could drink a beer and that's about it. Like, I had zero fitness. I worked my ass off in here, mate. Like, I got no time to run or do a push-up or a sit-up or anything, you know. So he was starting with a terrible platform. And even in the month, I guess, I was with him, noticeable difference. Like, I was building blocks, you know. The training we would do, if I seen someone do it, I'd be like, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do anything. Like, what is that guy doing? He's lifting a half kilo weight. Smashed me. He does programs for Finke and for downhill mountain biking, triathlons. Like, the dude is a genius, you know, like, so he tailor-made a program for me and was getting me ready, you know. So definitely where I was nowhere near where I was going to be when it was go time, but he was slowly building me up to a point of thrashing me and then tailoring it off and getting me ready, you know. So getting all that ready and then starting to talk about things with the bike. We were had a few things we wanted to do, changing, like, obviously quite a lot. Suspension's a big thing. I was running Legend suspension in the race, which was going to be difficult, not because the suspension's bad, because the suspension's great, but because the suspension is not designed to race Finke.
And when I first spoke to you, you didn't want to go, because I said, how about you go to a motocross fork or something? You wanted to keep it true too, didn't you?
Absolutely. I want to finish on a Harley.
Yep.
I don't want to get to the finish line and anyone goes, yeah, but it's a Harley motor and a dirt bike frame.
Yeah, it's got a
dirt bike suspension.
KTM Adventure front end.
That's right.
Something. You don't want that.
No, I want to finish.
You want it true.
And someone's like, fuck, that looks the same as the sports car I ride on the road. Like, what is this? What's wrong with that guy? I want to finish on a Harley, you know?
Yep.
That's a big thing for me. I don't want to finish with the excuse that I had dirt bike suspension, you know? Like, yeah, which is not the smartest way to go about it. And I don't know why I have that mindset of that, but it's just what I want to do.
And so Legends, did you speak to them about custom stuff, or
so
how far did you get down that track?
Not really. And mate, Legend, so Mary at Legend that I deal with, she's like the best lady ever.
Yep.
So she's so nice. I had one conversation with her straight away. She looked after me, James Gamble and Liam Walton, who them boys ride for me with the stunt stuff. And instantly, you know what I mean? Like, she'd seen what I've been doing. I'd always paid for my stuff. And she was like, absolutely, we want to get involved straight away. Like, obviously, they looked positively on the way that we did things. Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, cool as. Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, spoke to them. And I really didn't want to burden them with trying to think what I was doing was, like, they sponsor like Sea Bear, like Joey 55, like they sponsor the biggest names in all this shit. I am such a small, tiny speck in all that I didn't want to bother them with trying to get them to build me something custom, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I was just going to finish with what I had and take a few sets with me, obviously, because, like I say, dirt bike suspension fails. Dirt bikes fail on this race. So you cannot expect a Harley to make it, let alone Harley suspension that is brilliant on the road, but it's road suspension, to finish Finke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was going to take a couple of sets with me and hope my back held out.
Well, that's it. I guess that's all the training.
Yes.
You know, help that core, stable your back out and
Legs,
everything
mate.
like that.
Legs. Like, I've always had not the strongest legs. So legs were going to be massive because that was going to be 3/4 of my suspension, obviously.
Going through your legs.
Exactly. It all starts there. So
You got one of those things about you're tall. That would have been great.
Yes.
Like, you know, still think so hard, but being nice and tall and mobile, being able to pull that weight back, that would have been awesome for you.
Absolutely. And then seat-wise, like, so we'll just getting a sort of a proposal together for Saddleman seats. So Saddleman sponsor me and, well, look after me massively. And then, so we're going to talk to them about doing a custom seat, which I believe wouldn't have been an issue because they're a really good company, and I see them doing a lot of custom stuff for people, which is unreal. You know, it's kind of hard to find in a big company like that too. So talking to them, you need heaps of foam, like lots of foam.
Wow.
Because, well, that's another part of your suspension and comfort, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
what I have now on my tracker is put together by North Coast Custom Trim, which is basically yoga mat. Well, it is yoga mat because it's tiny. I'm on a flat track.
Yep.
You don't need a comfortable seat. You just need grip, you know? So it's definitely in the stages of talking to Saddleman about that and getting something happening there. But we just never got to that point, you know?
You were a fair way down the rabbit hole of investigating. Like it was happening. There was no doubt.
Yeah,
wasn't
100%.
It was on.
The ticket was in.
Yep.
We were ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
Absolutely. Then I was just about to start going and thrashing my bike. My father-in-law's got a property at Imbil, 200 acres out there. He was going to build me a whoop section.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we possibly could, one corner at the end and then a whoop section back, you know, like... So I was just going to go out there and just
Beat yourself up.
pound that for as many times as I could until I could last.
Yep.
And the bike lasts. And that won't even equivalent to quarter of what Finke's going to throw at me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, you only got to look at a photo or a video clip of Finke.
Yep.
It looks gnarly.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's actually like.
100%.
You watch a video of Ken Roxon sending a big jump, it looks possible.
Yeah.
You go there and watch Ken Roxon do it, you're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
It's like a GoPro.
And then you actually do it yourself. That's a whole nother level again.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
totally different. Like GoPro or camera. No camera. You go do a hill climb or climb a mountain.
Looks like a little hill.
Nothing looks the same. So, yeah, so you go out to Finke, it'd be a whole different game. And,
Yes.
you know, you have, Toby, for instance, like, he's the king of Finke on a motorcycle
Absolutely.
currently.
And
you
king
have
of everything he touches, that bloke.
pretty much,
Yeah.
So, and then you have, like, you go past that and you hear other people that race Dakar and that
Yep.
say Finke looks crazy.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Sounds
just another
stupid.
level. Yeah,
absolutely.
so
it's one of the hardest desert races in the world.
that's right.
You know, and fortunate for us, it's at our back door. But that puts it in perspective. It's one of the hardest desert races in the world, and you're going to do it on a Harley?
Yeah.
It's-
You're nuts, mate.
That's why I want to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not meant to happen.
No.
Everything we've done, like I said, watching Rossi send the diners. The first time I ever rode a Harley on the dirt was my diner at Dust Hustle. Now, that's another person that needs huge, huge credit. Dust Hustle. Dust Hustle kicked all this off. They created a platform where you could ride something that's not meant to be ridden. It doesn't matter what contraption it is, whether it's a Harley with road tyres, whether it's something you built in your shed, doesn't matter. Get out there, ride it, have fun, have a beer, have a laugh. That's it. There's no racing per se until you get out there and there's 4 or 5. It's definitely racing. You know, no one wants to lose to each other, but it's not a race. So you can pull up at any time, talk shit, high five halfway through riding around, or have a few laps with a dude on a contraption that you're just frothing on, you know. Yep. There's a guy there that makes these awesome contraptions, Spud. Like, there's nothing more I want to do than cruise around behind that guy, cruising, because it just looks sick, you know? Like, so yeah, dust hustle for sure. Mate, anyone that's doing or thinking about doing flat track on a Harley in Australia owes them a beer for sure.
100%. And they've created it. They've created their own culture.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a dust hustle culture of, you know, it's the same people every time.
Yep.
Obviously new people every time too,
Yep.
but the same people want to keep coming back because it's a fun event. And is that how you got into, not the group, but into flat track? Was that your first time on a flat track?
So the first time was actually Rossi's event. But
So that was before you'd even been to a dust hustle?
Well, I did a dust hustle on the Dyna at the first one that I knew of. I think it was like the third dust hustle or something.
Yeah.
Was at like a vintage motocross track. They only did one there.
That's right.
And they wouldn't. I don't think they'd let them back. But that track was mint, perfect for the Harleys, and that was the first one. So because I'd seen footage of Rossi ripping on his Dyna with a motocross tire on the front and an adventure tire on the back. I went straight out, got a rear motocross tire for the front and an adventure tire for the back. You know, like, and I was like, dude, this is going to be so fun. I ended up, me and Rossi tossed it up a bit, you know, like when we were out there. And when I watched videos of him, I was like, that dude's just going to smoke everyone. Like him, Jan, Luke Fiasco. I've seen that video of Luke Fiasco ripping on that Jap cruiser at Misled's compound, I'm pretty sure. That video that went viral of him like hitting that berm.
He can
flat.
ride, eh?
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
And he's a funny guy. He's a laugh. And I was like, I'm just going to be like this dude flailing at the back, watching these guys rip around frothing, you know?
Yep.
And got there, and same thing with the flat track. I just sort of picked it up, you know? Like I just sort of seemed to be pretty good at it. And I was actually ripping around with Rossi a bit, you know? And I was like, fuck, this is sick. Like, I can't believe how much fun I'm having, and I can't believe I can do this. Like, I didn't think that, because I raced motocross, but I wasn't good at motocross. You know what I mean? Like, I can ride a dirt bike. I can ride a dirt bike well, but I'm not good at motocross. When it comes to saying someone's good, nowhere near, you know? So
I was going to ask you that. So you did do motocross for a bit?
yeah, I raced for 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Age, like junior or just
No. So I was old balls. So 2013, 2012, 2013, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so what's that? I was 23, 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I first met Jimmy Gamble. So me and
was it?
Jimmy raced B grade together, and I smoked him.
Yeah, nice.
No, I beat him by like a couple of points. He went to he went to schoolies and didn't race, and I was able to sneak the championship off him.
It's a good foundation, isn't it?
Yes,
For riding anything, like ride, road or whatever.
especially Coolum.
Yeah.
Coolum, mate. If you can ride fast at Coolum, see, I really struggled with sand.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long time to get used to sand.
Yep.
I could ride hard pack, I believe, pretty comfortably, you know, pretty easily. Sand was a whole nother beast for me. I'd never ridden sand. So the first year there, it would have been 2.5 years, because the first, I just raced a little bit in C grade, then they put me to B.
Yep.
And then the first year of really racing, won the B grade championship and got third in Shell, Clubman Shell. Went to intermediate in A grade the next year. Broke my back at the start of the year before 13. So went out to Ben Shadell's for a training camp, first training camp I ever did, and stupidly, my own fault, tried to jump 2 table stops instead of one, then the other. Second lap of the track. Barely even looked at it. I was invincible. You know when you're riding and you're like, you can't do anything. I was just like the best I ever felt on a bike, ever.
Wow.
I was ripping. I was ready for intermediate. You know, that was the best I'd ever ridden. That was my peak, you know, like I was doing really well. That's why I jumped this thing, because you couldn't hurt me. I could do whatever I wanted within my skill set. And so come up short, busted 3 ribs and T9. So the start of that year was a bit of a struggle, because they told me not to sit on anything that vibrated for 6 months. So I couldn't even sit on a Harley with it idling for 6 months. 6 weeks later, I raced Toowoomba.
Wow. You're a tough man.
When I did it, so I was really badly winded, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm being a pussy. Like, you know when you're winded and you're like, it's going to come good.
Yep.
It's going to come good any minute.
It's just time.
It's just time.
Yep.
But then I was like, this isn't going away. I'm still winded.
So what actually happened?
So he's got like these 2 tabletops.
Yep.
The first one's really lipped up so you can jump both, right? And the dude's out there, he's got a couple of young fellas there, and they're just stupidly fast. And so they're just sending it flat out while we're all gearing up, you know. I'm like, I can do that. And I could have, but I fucked up. So when I was coming up to first lap, sort of cruised around, jumped a few things, mainly just sort of working it out. Second lap, come around, I was like, coming up to the up ramp perfectly, fully wedged, and I was like, oh, I'll just button off a little bit and land on top of the second tabletop. Next lap, I'll send it. That was my mistake. I landed into the up ramp of the second tabletop, and then went over from the compression, went over the front of the bike and landed on my back. But the actual, I believe it was the impact, because there was so much impact of that landing, that I fractured 3 ribs and did my T9. It was basically, my T9 looked like popcorn in an X-ray. But then I was winded for ages, come good. I was in quite a lot of pain, but I just didn't want to be a pussy, you know, like. And so I'm there, I'm like, oh, don't be a bitch, keep going. Like, and so I'm doing timing. We're doing timing then. So I'm timing people, got the shits, geared back up, went back out, got my time, did 2 20-minute motos. So finished the motos. I was in a lot of pain, you know, trying to be a tough guy. I'm all right. Like, don't be a pussy. I've probably just, you know, I've just sprained a muscle in my back or something. That night, went to an engagement party, didn't really sleep, went back the next day, hopped on the bike, first ride through the whoops, had tears coming out of my eyes. And I was like, they had one big tabletop there. Even in the first day, I would jump. That would be the only time that I felt like I could breathe the whole lap. I would be like, oh, it was the only time I got a bit of a break to let a breath out, you know?
Wow.
And then went to the hospital or the doctor, whatever. They're like, don't move. You've broken your back. Like, you're an idiot. Like, I was like, fuck. And then, so yeah, fractured 3 ribs. T9 didn't look real good. And then they said, all right, so they wanted to put me in like a full brace setup. And so I took that with me, but I never wore it, which I don't condone. And then a little bit of time off work, and then started swimming. So I started swimming. The best thing about swimming is it's like a compression sock. One, you're not weighted, obviously, but it's also like a bit of a compression sock, you know, is what I figure. Just the actual, the sort of the force of the water.
Probably
you know?
like wearing that brace in a sock.
Well, it's like wearing a compression
suit. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So I started just moving around in the pool, and then swimming, then surfing, well, paddling, then surfing, then riding 150s. Then 6 weeks later, I raced the first round of Shell at Toowoomba. Yeah, so I just sort of, in my eyes, I took it slow. In the doctor's eyes, every time I went back, I'd be like, oh, I've started doing this. They're like, you should not be doing that, but you're healing. So keep doing what you're doing, I guess. And then I kept getting checkups, and every time I was still healing. And the doctor just pretty much said to me in the end, like, I can't tell you what to do, obviously. So you're healing, just don't hurt yourself.
Yep.
And yeah, and I really shouldn't have raced Toowoomba because I didn't get any point. I think I got 1 point because I had no fitness and I was a bit sketch on the bike.
Is this Echo Valley?
Yeah, sick track. That's a great track. Yeah, so I probably should have just let that one fly and just get into the next round, but
it's history.
Pig-headed.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
Any issues with it after? Like,
yeah, so now if I run down, say, Mount Coolum, it feels like I got like a chicken bone pressing into my lung.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so only when I come down the mountain. Up the mountain's no worries. Only on the way down, it's all that jolting. It starts to, get a bit sore.
Yeah.
And a few movement issues. But yeah.
So was that 2012?
Yeah, I believe started 2013.
Yeah, 7-8 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, yep.
And do you, like you said, you're doing dirt bike stuff then. Do you still have a dirt bike now?
Yeah, I actually just inherited the wife's because she's heavily pregnant, so she can't ride.
Yeah.
So I got the wife's dirt bike. So, because mate, Jamie raced Echo Valley with me that week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Jamie's ridden dirt bikes since she was 4. Her old man is a gun on a dirt bike. Like he was ex-Queensland champ for enduro.
Yeah, right.
Was in the Australian, got in the Australian. This is going back a long time. Sponsored by Honda. So he rips on a dirt bike. He's real old school style. Doesn't really stand up, but rips.
Just beats himself up.
No, well,
No?
ride an XR, you could.
Yeah.
Like, perfect style for the XR, you know? Like, he's literally faster on an XR 400 than a CRF 450.
Wow.
Like, the dude, and he rips, mate, still. Yeah, very, very fast man.
So what did Jamie ride? What
She
have
was
you got
riding
now?
KXF 250,
Yep.
09 model back then. And I think she got 4th or 5th or something that weekend from memory.
Yep.
I could be wrong there. But, mate, she beat most of my mates. We'd go out riding at Kenilworth, right? We were all weekend warriors, go out there. None of us were racing a couple of years before this. We'd go out there. Jamie would clean them up on a CRF 230.
Wow.
She raced Conordale on a CRF 230. I still reckon she was faster on the CRF 230 than the 250.
Yeah.
Because they're such a good bike to steer. And she think she got 3rd for the series at Conordale, that tri-series they had, the club championship series, whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got 3rd on CRF 230.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so she rips. And mountain bikes, dirt bikes, wakeboard, she's very sporty. She can throw a rock further than me, you know.
Yep.
When we were travelling, we spent like 2 hours throwing rocks. I didn't throw a single one further than her.
Yeah, right.
She's very sporty. You know?
And you're competitive, so that'd probably
I threw
piss
my
you off.
arm out. My shoulder was sore for a week.
Yeah, that'd probably piss you off a bit.
I was putting everything into it, mate. Don't you worry.
That's
Beats
nuts.
me at tennis. Dude, we played tennis in Fiji once. We were on a holiday. This is when we were very first sort of dating. I never played tennis. Oh, actually, I did play a little bit of tennis growing up, but not really. And she smoked me. We played in the stinking hot sun for like 2-3 hours. There was a caretaker dude down there, and he was like, "What are you doing?" We played till I won a point.
Damn.
It took like 3 hours for me to win a point. And I'm pretty sure she let me win it.
Yeah, just to get out of the sun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
She's one of those people that is naturally good at stuff, you know, like riding dirt bikes. Like she did Kenilworth Chook Chase. That's actually quite a hard loop. And she hadn't ridden, like this is after we got back from travelling. She had Isla. We had Isla, but obviously she did all the work. So she'd had Isla and did the Chook Chase.
Yep.
Like there was all these people stuck on a hill, and her and her sister just cruised up it.
Damn.
She can ride a bike.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that helps with your support for both, like both ways. You both love these sports / motorcycles.
Yep.
And that's obviously you've got a shop.
Yep.
Your life pretty much is motorcycles.
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't it?
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so your dreams of travel involve going for a ride around somewhere or whatever. So
Yeah.
what about your Canada time? Did you get to ride any bikes over there?
So we did downhill.
Oh, mountain bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but no
right.
actual bikes. So I wasn't that heavily involved with bikes before we left. Just riding motocross.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
pretty into the motocross, but that was it. You
Yep.
know, I had an old Softail, but obviously no idea about Harley wheelies or flat track or anything back then.
Yep.
And so we travelled for 20 months. So we got married. We had a house deposit put together and had the house ready to go. And so I went, fuck, we're locked in. Once we buy this house, it's kids, 50.
Yep.
And that's the reality, you know. So we're like, fuck, two of our mates, Brody and Chloe, went over to Canada. And we followed them, literally. You know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds, you know, following or copying or whatever, but we literally did.
Yep.
Like, we seen what they were doing, and that started the conversation for us. And we're like, fuck this, let's go do that. So we bought a one-way ticket to Canada, shot out there, did a snow season, then at Whistler.
Yep.
And never snowboarded in my life. That's a lie. I snowboarded like 1 or 2 days years before with Jamie and her family. Then did a snow season, travelled all through like lower Central America, so from like Mexico down to the southern border, then followed the west coast all the way back to Canada surfing. We love surfing. I've surfed for ages. And so we surfed the whole way back like 3 times a day, bought a little Mr. T van and just cruised. Got back to Whistler and it was summer and everyone was doing downhill. And I was like, yeah, I'm keen to try downhill. Like, that sounds awesome. I don't really know if I can do it, but hey, I'll do it. Then so bought a $1,000 bike and bought the missus an $800 bike. And so the shittest bikes on the mountain, started riding downhill. Loved it. They had races called Fat Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Started racing them and I was good at it. So I had guys that had been racing their whole life that at first were like, oh, we don't really want to ride with this dude. He's just sort of got a mountain bike. He's going to be doing the green run. It's going to take 4 hours to get down the hill. I'd see him on the hill and pass him, and they were like stoked for me, you know. Vince, I'll never forget Vince. He's the biggest legend, and started riding. He'd ridden his whole life, and he was just frothing that he could ride with someone, push his limits, help me push my limits, and just have a great time, you know. Because he'd done it for so long. I think at that time he'd sort of not gone stale, but just pretty cruisy, and then he was like, fuck yeah, this dude. He's keen, like, because I was keen as a bean. It was all new to me. So we started, and he was a photographer as well. So we started doing a few photos with it all and racing. I can't remember if I broke in. I'm pretty sure I definitely broke into the top 30, but I'm pretty sure one race I broke into the top 20. We're talking the most competitive downhill mountain scene in the world.
Yep.
Right? So Fat Wednesdays sound like just a local little thing. There's like all the dudes sponsored by Red Bull there and like some serious dudes, you know.
Yep.
So we did all that. Jamie raced as well. Jamie smoked. I think that jump was like 50 or 50 feet. She jumped on a mountain bike.
No way,
dude. Like most of the time, I'd always like be pushing Jamie and like pushing her. You get a little bit worried sometimes. Most of the time, I'm like, go, more aggression, you know, like because she's just super smooth and super clinical, and I was like saying, yep, you can do this jump. This is what you got to do, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like sweating, like, this is a big jump.
Yep.
Shit. She's coming down and you couldn't touch your brakes. You had to hit this corner, hit this steep hill, don't touch your brakes. And it was just it was a fair way, but it was like a real floaty jump as well. So you just like felt like you're in there forever. And so I was freaking out. She come down, hit it first run, cleared it, no worries, hit it every lap. And so
that's a big jump.
Yeah, that's a huge jump, dude.
Yeah.
That's massive.
It is.
Yeah. So I was super proud.
Geez, you must have had a good time over there,
mate. Great. Like the beauty of Whistler, there's no pressure on society, right? So you don't need a car, you don't need new clothes. No one has any money. We're on $10 an hour. No one has any money. All you need money for is beer and rent. That's it.
Pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah, makes life so easy. And that's one thing I tried to bring back with me, but you kind of lose that pretty quick. You kind of get back into the swing of things. But try to come back and not care so much about the superficial side of things. Bling on a bike or, you know, a nice T-shirt or means fuck all, realistically.
Yep.
Who cares? You know what I mean? And that's one thing that me and all of my mates in our little group, as I do bunny ears group, that we all do is you can turn up on a 01 Sporty that's clapped out, rusty, shit paint. You don't even have to do a wheelie or whatever, but you could just sit there having a great time, go for a rip and contribute, implement yourself in it. We're stoked.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You could have a bike that's worth $100,000 or that Sporty. You're exactly the same person.
Yep.
You know, there's no like, oh, he's a legend because he's got $100,000 bike. I'm more like, that dude's a legend because he's ripping on a $3,000 Sportster and sending it.
Yeah,
so,
it's sort of like your thing about, like, it's not supposed to be there.
Yes,
absolutely. If you've got someone that's ripping on this thing that's got, you know, blown to pieces.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So.
Yep. And that's definitely one thing that brought back with me and I really try to push is looks ain't nothing, you know, like equipment, all that shit. Like it helps to have some equipment when you're doing certain things, obviously. It makes it easier. It's not a necessity. And just because you don't have that equipment doesn't mean you're a loser, you know, like it's all the same. Yeah. You're all the same person. You're having fun, happy days.
Yeah, so where were we? We had we just had to sell some helmets.
Yeah.
So
it's a busy little place, this, mate.
Saturday mornings at a bike shop.
Yeah.
That's what it should be, eh?
Absolutely. Last week was nuts. I think we had like allegedly 15 of us here going to run amok, you know. With all the shit going on. You can't even get 5 people together.
No, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really, really is hard. So,
Yeah.
you're going for a ride today, aren't you?
Yeah, straight after this, I'm Liam Walton.
Yep.
Me and him are going for a rip.
Yep.
Go practice some wheelies. I'm slowly getting, mate, hand drags. Hand drags are killing me. So it's such a hard trick to do for me. Like some, like I was saying, some people are just naturally, I'm a grinder. I got to grind at everything I do. So I've been trying hand drags properly for a little while now. I can do tip drags. I can do fingertip drags.
Yep.
But I can't hand drag, you know, like starting to get like my base knuckles down, but I want my hand flat. I want my hand flat grinding along the road, you know, like I don't want to just be nicking at it. Yep. I'm getting there, but it's just something I've got to grind at.
What is it you think? Is it just that balance when you're at that point, just offsetting something, or what do you think?
I've got to be really comfortable with stuff.
Yep.
I've got too much to lose to just go out and send it. You know what I mean? I think it's funny, mate. Just not that long ago, I was ripping along and little Isla, my little daughter's face just sort of flashed by me, you know? I've never had that.
Not once?
Ever. Nothing is, when I'm doing something, nothing has come fear flashing in front of me telling me to slow down, you know? Ever. And I always hear people talk about it, and I'm always sort of like, how does that happen? How does that actually become a thing? Like,
does it sneak in, or how does it work?
Yeah, like, do you implement it yourself? You know what I mean? Is it a mindset that you implement yourself? No, it isn't. It literally just comes like a fucking brick falling out of the sky, and is like, bam, don't be a dickhead. You got a kid.
So how did it, like, just one day, just all of a sudden?
Absolutely. Ripping along, going way too fast, and no shit, and I know that sounds, Isla's little face just straight through the forefront of my mind, you know, just a cute little face, just straight past. That was it.
Wow.
Just went from full noise to I was racing myself. Like, we're in a really big group ride. This is way before any of this stuff happened, out to Krakow. And Held South put together an epic ride all the way out to Krakow. Had the Fred Brophy boxing tents out there.
Oh, yeah.
It was sick.
Yep.
So good. And anyway, ripping along, middle of nowhere, all alone, for no reason.
Yep.
Just enjoying myself, you know, having a fat time. That slowed me down. And it's obviously been happening for a little while without me really realising. But that one could have potentially saved my life. You know, I'm a big believer in things happen for a reason. Yep. I'm not a weirdo. I don't like wear the same jocks every day or anything like that. But I'm a big believer in things happen for a reason. So I was like, shit, I got to slow down. I just buttoned off instantly. I literally buttoned off probably another 300-400 meters, pulled over, got my phone out and just videoed everyone coming by, and then just chilled at the back.
Yep.
That shit happens for a reason.
For sure.
Yeah.
Something was coming.
Absolutely. Yep. It could have potentially saved a lot of heartache, you know? So.
Definitely.
Yep.
Culture. We touched on culture with Dust Hustle events, Rossi's event.
Yep.
Where's Harley culture in Australia now? It sort of seems like, you know, the wheelies, flat track. It's in a good place, but growing stronger in that sort of sense, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, this year's going to be a setback because there's probably a few events planned. May happen at the end of the year.
This year's going to be shit, for sure. Yeah.
But the momentum that will come either out of this or the end of last year, it was looking really good for the brand Harley and obviously flat trackers in general.
We
and
had
stunts
races lined up. We had races lined up. We had stunt shows lined up. So we did a stunt show February, I think it was, at Daimler Trucks, just at Forest Glen here.
Yep.
Done that. Awesome. You know what I mean? Like, great response. Heaps of people there had never seen it. I had multiple people come up to me and go, you could take this worldwide. They'd never seen it. They had no idea it's a thing. When they said, I'm like, oh, we can't. Like, the States is, what we're doing is like 1% of what they're doing, you know? They've been doing this shit for a long time. They got their shows dialed. They got their tricks dialed. They're riding, to be honest, Sam Taylor, Robert Mudgy, rip. So I consider, and there's definitely other, and Rossi, But those dudes, Sam Taylor right now, and Mudgee, like they're some of, I believe, the best riders in the world. They're in the conversation for sure. For me,
Yep.
I'm a bit biased. Aussie boys love that, but they are pushing. Sammy's just about got double hand drags. To me, he's got them. To him, he's like, I can't get a photo with both my hands down, so I don't have them. He's a real humble dude. Real humble.
How does it like? To me, I don't know how does that work? Like when your hands off the throttle, is there any like
I don't
is there
know
a
the
choke
trick.
on, or is there a, like
well, you're past balance, so you're coasting essentially, and just using your brake to keep you there.
brake and the momentum of
Yep.
inertia?
Yep. Exactly. And
Wow.
I don't actually know. It defeats
Yeah.
reason.
Like I see the photos and I'm just like, mate, it's crazy. It's great.
Dude, the other day I was trying to take my throttle hand off,
Yeah.
riding along. Real good road, closed off.
Like smooth surface.
Smooth. Yep. Closed off, good road to be doing
Oh, yeah.
wheelies.
Someone's private driveway.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep. Private concrete area. And I'm literally looking at my throttle hand, 2 hands on the bars, looking at my throttle hand going, release, release, release. Let go, you bastard. Like, I couldn't even pulse it. I couldn't even just like open and close my hand.
Yeah.
Could not get it to. And then he's trying to put them both on the ground. Mudgee, the other day, we went for a ride and he was doing like slow coasting throttle hand drags. Almost to a stop.
Yeah.
Get it all back together and ride out. How do you do that?
It's impossible.
Well, I thought so.
But it's not.
No.
You know, like it's
Dude,
talented.
oh, absolutely. Joey 55. If anyone's never seen Harley wheelies,
Yep.
search Joey 55 and search Reckless 203. That dude is nuts.
And
Yep.
what do they do anything to their bikes different to?
They've
Do you
got their
reckon?
setup, because they've been doing it a long time, I believe, they've got their setup dialed, but there's no magic recipe.
Yep.
Yes, their setups are dialed. They know what works. They know what doesn't work. They've been doing it so long.
Mm.
We're like the kindergarten at the high school.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They've been doing it that much longer. We're in grade 1. They're in grade 12. You know, they're the big dogs.
We're on a big curve though, aren't we?
Yes, we're
Like,
growing quick.
Accelerating really fast
Yep.
here.
It's the largest, I believe it's the largest growing fad in Harley Davidson right now. I believe Harley Davidson Australia, and I mean this with the utmost respect, no one loves the brand more than I do,
Yep.
needs to take a stick out of their ass and get on board, you know, because this is going to, and like I say, I mean that in the utmost respect, like I don't mean that as a derogatory comment. Indian do it really well.
Okay.
Indian market.
What, globally?
Well, in Australia.
Okay. Yeah.
You see videos of Indians doing wheelies on their marketing
Right.
in a mountain road, in a mountain range. Why can't a Harley do that on their social media platform?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, doing the power wheelie out of a corner is technically illegal, but they're using it as their marketing. They've got no issues. Hire a space. Come to a stunt show. Another thing, utilize our own country's content. We have a lot of really Mudgee. We've spoken about this earlier. Mudgee is the perfect platform to have represent your brand. Well presented, well spoken, very polite, knows his shit, you know, like loves the brand, talk to anyone, definitely like super humble. The guy rips. You spoke to him outside of that, you'd have no idea. Like, just like how we're talking about Ty Berriman before.
Yep.
So people like him should be implemented in Harley's brand to push it into these younger generations, right? If you sell a bike to the son, he buys it, he sells it to his son, so on and so forth. It keeps the brand young, right? The old dudes that are buying the fat boys and all that, legends. It's been going on forever. They're the backbone of it all, for sure. You need to be, I believe, a little bit more adverse and start pushing this kind of stuff or letting know people you can do this. How do so many people that love Harleys have no idea that you can do a wheelie on them? For us, it's normal. So I think Harley, like Indian do it awesome. You know what I mean? they've got guys out on the flat track and they're getting photos of them on the flat track, like Trent Woken and Matty Mack and all them dudes ripping around the flat track on the Indian. That's all over their social media. We're out there ripping around on the Harleys. Where's that? Indian sponsored Sultans of Slide. We went down and raced Sultans of Slide.
Yep.
We got Tommy, his Instagram's Tommy Gunn. I don't actually know what his last name is.
Yeah, Tom Bremich.
Is it? Right, there you go. The kid rips, right? Giving him an Indian to ride. Where's the Harley to ride? You know what I mean? There's and I'm sure they're probably doing a lot more than I see. Obviously,
Yep.
Like I'm a small speck on a huge board. I'm a grain of sand on a beach, you know. But I think from where I sit, it would be cool to see them support that a little bit more, you know what I mean? Because I think that's the backbone, that's the largest growing fad right now. I literally, every show, I have someone come up to us and say, I've ridden a jet bike my whole life, I've always thought Harley's a piece of shit, now I want one. That dude's now, and even a chick said it to me at Power and Petrie. She come up, she's ridden jet bikes her whole life, thought that Harleys were a slow slug of a thing that no one could ride quick.
Yep.
We did a stunt show. She was like, I actually would buy a Harley now. Whether she goes out and buy one or not, don't know. But that just changed one person that spoke to me's mind. Imagine how many people in that surrounding group and that she tells that now go to buy a Harley from a stunt show. But where's the Harley pushing that, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely understand it as the big overall. Yeah.
And Harley's got to be careful because all their content has to be legal and right and all that kind of stuff. And I get that. And I'm not telling them to share a clip of someone wheeling through traffic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's a stunt show. Or it's a flat track race.
A private property or something. Well, Harley as a international brand, their flat track is
huge.
It's a foundation.
They're in X Games.
It's their foundation. It's huge.
Yep.
So, I'd love to see that. The Indian side of it, you know, I actually still don't see many of them on the road.
Yep.
There's a lot of I see a lot of clips of the bikes doing things and this and that, but I actually still yet to see them selling many. I don't know, but
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure on that side, but yeah, I'd love to see, you know, factory support for racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get them racing like you did come out to the track and the drag days, and I know with the Roaring Sporties thing. Have you seen that coming?
Roaring Sporties, yeah.
Like that, things like that. If you know, and I remember way back in the 90s, they did have a Harley factory race team.
Yep, absolutely.
And it was heavily supported.
I don't think there's the money there anymore either.
Yeah, the times change. And especially now, I think it's a really tough time trying to sell bikes. It's an incredible time, but we can only hope one day that would be the thing, you know, a road race or a stunt team or something like that.
When we did that race,
yep,
I sold 2 exhaust systems from riding out on that road, the road bike race.
Well, when we went out to Morgan Park?
Morgan Park, yep.
Really?
2 Fab 28s from it.
How'd that happen?
They messaged me and asked what I was running and...
What, someone that was at...
Yeah, because they had a Harley at home.
Wow.
Yeah, and I sold some Flow products as well.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Dude.
You've got to be seen.
They could... And this is what I say. You're already on a Harley, you're already cool. There's a dude there setting lap times that are wild. But he's on a jet bike that should do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Way more talented than me. Way more.
Yep.
You put him on a Harley, he'll probably ride around me, lap me every 2 laps.
But it looks almost irrelevant when he gets out there on his X10 and goes fast.
It's meant to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what the guy's way more talented, way more going on, way more time invested. But it's common. The Harley out there isn't. So it draws attention. Right? So and that's why I do all this stuff. Gasoline Alley, perfect example. They're at Dust Hustles.
Yeah.
They're at drag racing.
Yeah.
They're at Morgan Park. They're at Phillip Island. Ferg races are friggin' road king.
Who does that?
Who does that? That dude's a legend.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck does that?
Yeah, it's sort of creating like we said about Dust Hustle, it's creating a culture. Again,
Yes.
another sort of split of it.
Yep. He's not doing it to sell bikes.
No.
He is a motorcycle tragic.
100%.
He will tell you straight up.
Like us.
we're all the same.
That's it. Yeah.
That's why it's so good. That's why it creates traction.
Yep.
That's why it sells bikes.
It's real. It's not. You're not coming from a place where, blah blah blah. I'm just doing it because it looks cool, and you're doing it because you bloody love this stuff.
He's not measuring anything.
Nah.
He is riding because he wants to.
Yep.
You can't beat that.
Yeah. It's like you own a shop. Why do you own a bike shop? Because I bloody love motorbikes.
Dude, swinging spanners is not a good business decision.
Yep.
Mechanics do not get paid enough for what they do, right? We're risking people's lives every day.
Yep.
And then you get people coming in haggling on their life.
You're mechanical doctors.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it is.
Well, you think about it. Car's got 4 wheels. If a wheel falls off, you like really bad scenario, you die, but it's unlikely.
Yep.
Normally, you're just going to get injured. Wheel falls off the Harley, it's more likely you're going to die than just get injured.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and then you get people coming in to haggle on labour or whatever when you've got their life in your hand.
That makes no sense.
It makes 0 sense, mate.
Yep.
Go to Macca's and have a haggle over a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Don't come and haggle on your life. That's madness.
Yeah. You said it perfect.
Yeah.
Talking about your shop, 4.5 years?
Yeah, 4.5 years, yeah.
How is it?
Awesome.
You love it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, live and breathe it.
Does business give you the same sort of feel as bikes? Like in that addiction, in that
yes,
like
for sure.
driven sort of thing?
Yep, I'm hungry, right?
Yeah.
And like I said before, I don't say hunger is a bad way.
Yep.
Hunger's a good thing, mate. A term I use a lot is all if I wanted was a pair of pluggers and a tolly, I'd be on the dole. It's not what I want, right? My family growing up, my mum and dad lived out of rag bags, right? I had no idea. I had a brand new Burning Spears t-shirt on, right? No idea, right? We didn't have much, but us kids were always looked after. We had the Ford with every door was a different colour. And so I owe a lot to my parents and get a lot of drive out of them, both of my parents. And so I think I was getting pretty deep with it, but I think I feel I've got to give a lot back for that. They started with nothing and created a platform for me to strive. If I waste that, I disrespect them, you know what I mean? So I think a lot of it stems from that. On top of that, I have a wife that is a beast, mate. I say to people all the time, I must have done something good in a previous life. She deserves more than I can give her. So, and then there's a kid, and it just keeps stacking on. That's what makes me hungry. That's what gets my ass out of bed. I love my job, but without that drive, I would not be where I am. Without them driving me. And, mate, they would be happy if I sat on my ass with a tolly and a pair of pluggers. That's the beauty.
Yep.
That's the unsung, beautiful part of my family is they don't really care. I put it on myself to give it back, you know, like, which is even better. Then with all that and the way I obsess on things, when I put myself into anything, I like go 110%, which does drive the missus crazy. So I can't just be willy-nilly. I can't just go out and do it once every now and then and be shit at it. I don't do that. I don't do shit, you know. I'm not great at anything, but I'm good at the stuff that I do. Not great, but good, you know. And then so with business, I find myself definitely obsessing over it. I talk to some of my mates and I can see them just like, dude, I don't want to talk about this shit. Like, why are you talking about me money and investments and like, I just want to go surf or I just want to go ride my bike and I have to like pull myself up. Or I went through a real bad patch there where I'd be talking to someone and wasn't listening because I was already thinking about something at work or thinking about something to do or to better myself or whatever. My mate would be talking to me and I would already finish that conversation in my head and be moved on and thinking about something else. That's pretty bad. So I had to work on that. I recognised it, and I still do it, but not as bad. And same with customers. Dude, I'm trying to swing spanners, answer 120 calls a day. Mate, people send me Instagram messages on Sunday, Saturday, it runs 24/7. And it'd be sweet if it was just one person. And all the people that send me are cool as, and I don't want to be an arsehole. In the same token, I almost feel like building a generic message that's like, fuck off, it's my weekend. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So business is great and it's booming and it's growing quicker than I could ever imagine. The office side of things, the social media side of things, the part side of things, I have no knowledge of. Like, I have no background in any of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fully winging it. Crazy. And if I can wing it, anyone can. It's drive that makes it. I went to year 9 at school. I never did a day of year 10.
Yeah, right.
I had a little bit of dyslexia when I was a kid. I'm as dumb as a post with a pen, mate.
Yep.
Like, embarrassed with my handwriting. Like, so many people, once like I sort of spoke to some people about things, they're like, dude, this super successful businessman I know goes, I had to teach myself to read and write.
Yep.
I was like, oh, it kind of makes me feel better, you know, like it's not just me that's a dumbass, and not bumbling or faking my way through or anything like that, but don't really feel like a businessman, if that makes sense, because didn't go to uni. I'm not book smart. Most of them aren't.
No.
Dude, most successful, and I believe I don't say I'm a successful businessman, but I believe that my business is successful, from starting from having a little pump up blue bench and a tiny little space to start, to having what we have now, which I'm crazily grateful.
How many bikes have we got here now?
55 and a mate's jet ski.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
From one pump up bench.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like, and we pump out the work, dude. Like, it's nothing for us to work 12, 15-hour days. That's just part of Farrows.
That's just grinding.
Absolutely.
That's
And
all it
being
is.
hungry, you know,
Yep.
and the boys are hungry with me. So, mate, Dane Hobby, he was my first employee.
Mm-hmm.
I struck gold, mate. You're only as strong as your weakest link. He's my second in charge. He's me when I'm not here. He never really knew the man before the business. Now he's my brother. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't say bro or brother or any of that stuff either. So for me, he's literally part of my family.
Yeah.
You know? So he's just, you couldn't ask for a better bloke. And to have someone like that in your business, that stems off him too. And his wife and his kid. You know, like, we're a team package. Jason Ralph, he's out there right now grinding, not because he needs the money, not because I've told him he has to work. He loves it. Yeah. The dude was here at 8:30 last night getting a motor out because the guy's crank's buggered and he wants it back in 2 weeks. And we didn't know the crank was buggered, obviously. We don't have a crystal ball. So I don't put it down to just me. It's a team. And it all sort of fell in place. Like, everyone that's come and worked for us, we didn't put the feelers out finding someone. They're just sort of conversation sort of come up. Next minute, they're here.
They sort of fit the mould.
Absolutely.
That's how it works. Yep.
We just put out for a position in the office, which is actually quite daunting for us. I think we've got over 50 applications for the job. We had 3 applications in 5 minutes. How do you even... And we just put it on our social media. We didn't put it on Seek or any of that kind of stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, how do you even get your resume ready in 5 minutes and send it? I didn't even know how to get a resume ready, so I don't know how long it takes.
Yeah, let alone 5 minutes.
I feel like that's pretty quick.
Yeah, it sounds it.
And there's some huge caliber in there, you know,
Yep.
like, that want to come and be part of our family.
Yep.
They want to be part of the brand.
And that's
know?
what your business feels like. Like, when I'm around you through different events, and you have ladies' nights.
Yes.
It's sort of like it's always a family. It's
Yep.
community. You've built your like foundations around community.
Yep.
The whole lot of it, you know, having that, you teaching people how to pick bikes up, things like that. It's.
Dude, I didn't sell anything that night, right? It wasn't about selling anything.
It's about building relationships.
Not even that.
No.
Honestly, what women's night's about to me is I have a mum and I have a sister.
Yep.
Right? If they were riding, I would want someone teaching them the skills they need
Yep.
to be safer and ride a safer vehicle. Probably, I don't know if a majority, but a lot of the chicks that were here own Jap bikes.
Yep.
We don't work on them.
But it's a community around you.
I was
build all
teaching
this-
them how to fit themselves on a motorcycle, right? I didn't write a script. To be honest, I didn't forget about it, but like 5 o'clock that afternoon, D. Seville turns up and starts setting things up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's tonight.
Wow.
I wasn't prepped for it at all. I just started talking.
So who's D. Seville?
So D and Andrew Seville are the most beautiful people you ever meet, right?
Yep.
And huge advocates for the brand. They created Sunny Coast Cruises, which is a cruising group around here that just ride bikes.
Yep.
There's no bullshit. There's no you have to do, you must, nothing. If you turn up, ride your bike, put a smile on your face, happy days.
Nice.
Meet at the pub or the coffee shop, have a beer, have a coffee, whatever, cruise home. That's all it is. They have the best little riding group ever. When I say little, it's huge. Like they got, I don't actually know how many members, but it's shitloads. And me and Dee started talking about doing a ladies' night. And because she's a chick that rides, and she knows, as she's super passionate, and she knows how passionate I am to keep her informed with her bike, comfortable, fitted, everything. So we get her sorted, and away we go, you know? And so she was like, we should do this. Like, we can do this. So she was a huge part of that. Her and Jamie pretty much did, mate, most of the background stuff's Jamie.
Really?
Absolutely, dude. I swing the spanners.
Yep.
And I'm the face and the voice. Jamie's the gun.
Yep.
We would not be anywhere where we are today without my wife, for sure.
Yep.
Most men will say that. She's the boss, mate. Absolutely. And I have no shame in saying that. I'm stoked. I'm proud as punch to
You're
say
a team.
Absolutely. And she's the coach.
Yep.
For sure.
That's it. Yeah.
For sure, mate. You know, like I'm just running the plays that she gives.
Yep.
Yeah, unless it, most of the ones that, like I am creative in the way that I do things and come up with a lot of ideas and everything, for sure. But Jamie's the backbone. Yeah. And then, so yeah, we got the ladies' night together. We ran that. Other people did it sort of straight after us, and they did it to sell stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I made nothing out of that night. I didn't make a cracker.
Yeah.
We put on wine, cheese and biscuits. I didn't realise how much wine women drink, or cheese and biscuits for that matter. We had a lot of really good prizes.
Yep.
Bell Helmets gave a helmet, and heaps of places. Burson's gave us a package, and so on and so forth. And so the biggest thing was informing everyone. And the main reason that I didn't want men there was so that woman could ask me that stupid question she's had in the back of her mind that she doesn't even want to ask her husband.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she doesn't want to seem like a dumbass. Everyone says it. There's no such thing as a dumb question. And I mean it. You could ask me what seems to you like the silliest question you've ever asked someone. Like, what's that? Oh, it's a nut. Oh, okay. If they don't know, it's not a silly question.
Yep.
Ask me. Bring it on. We did question time. I tried to... And we had this one lady, I'll never forget her, sort of a tall, sort of goofy, and I mean that in a good way, sort of chick, asking the best questions. She was a legend, and she was stoked, you know, like she just loved it, loved the whole night. She was my favourite, for sure, you know, and we went through, I tried to go through as much as I could without baffling them or without trying to sound like I knew everything I was talking about.
Yep.
I wanted them to be comfortable, like it was just like a...
Just be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, I don't know everything. Like, I'm 31. Every day I'm learning. Anyone that say they don't is a fool.
Yep.
Because you're missing out on a lot. And I could learn off a lady, it's her first day riding. There is something to be learnt off that woman, right? Or man, or whatever. I used to watch C grade when I was racing because you'd pick, the dude could come dead last, but he ran a line. You're like, that's a good line. Only use that. You gained a second.
Straight
you can
away.
learn something off everyone.
100%.
Never be too big-headed to miss it because you'll never grow. For sure.
It's a huge thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what do you see of Farrow Customs? What do we see for that? Like this has been
past
accelerated.
what I ever thought. So when I started it, I wanted to work 4 days a week,
Yep.
make enough money to live,
Yeah.
and go surfing.
So this is post Canada. Come back to that time. Yep.
Yeah, just like in holiday mode.
Yeah.
Still, like cruising, like
Yep.
no social pressure. No, I don't want to work.
Beer and rent. That's all
exactly,
I need to do.
beer
Yep.
and rent mentality for
Yep.
sure. It just started growing really fast. So before I put Dane on, I worked myself to the point of going to hospital a few times with stress-related issues.
Yep.
Then I put Dane on, cruising. Then I got to a point going to hospital a few times with stress-related issues. Then put Matt on. Then ripping through again. Then we put Ralph on. We just kept, I would work myself to a point of failure, body failure, until I put someone on. Like it's not... Danny Dixon, I seen a clip of him with Dixon Flanos unloading the truck on the hottest day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That spoke volumes to me. The dude is a squillionaire, self-made squillionaire, and he's out there on the hottest day of the year unloading the truck and throwing the boxes into the shade to his employees. That's a man.
Yeah, it's a leader, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I try and do that. That's a hard job. That's a hard thing to implement. You know, like it's very easy to get wrapped up in your successes and think you deserve it or think you owed it. It's very easy to fall into that. So that's something I really try and always bring back on myself to recheck myself that I'm the guy that should be in the sun unloading the box. These dudes, I'm fortunate that these dudes are here helping me create my vision. Get my ass in the sun and unload the box.
Like even like last year, mate, we're talking the Sultans of Slide stuff.
Yeah.
End of last year.
Yep.
It was killing you being away.
Yep.
Like you're talking about the boys are doing this and I'm like, I don't want to be doing 2 weeks in a row because it's not fair. Like it kills you.
Oh, dude, they ran I think it was 3 races in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
So what was it? Wagga Wagga, Kempsey. No, Kempsey was the last. Wagga Wagga. Appen, Wagga Wagga, Kempsey.
Wagga Wagga, Appen, Kempsey.
In 3 weeks.
We went to Wagga.
Yep. What a haul.
Sick. Mate, I'm literally, me and Jimmy Gamble. So that dude is a legend.
Yep.
And we went, first race we ever did together was Rossi's.
Yeah, right.
Cruised down. We hit the piss so hard.
Road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we just like freight trained it there.
Yeah.
Got there. The night before the race, we hit the piss so hard, like 4 o'clock in the morning, Jimmy Gamble's eating raw eggs.
Damn.
Like
You're on it.
we love it, you know? Like we're there for the whole experience.
Yep.
It's a hooligan race.
Yep.
To me, when I put my helmet on, I'm trying to win. But every other aspect of that, I'm trying to soak up as much as I can.
Yep.
Every part of it. The race was one aspect I enjoyed, but there were so many other aspects. Meeting all the Adelaide boys and like Sammy and Rossi and like all the dudes there, everyone there. That was the experience. If you took the race out of there, I still would have had the best weekend.
Yeah.
Because the race was just a highlight.
Racing sort of depends on how you take it, but it's like an excuse for a gathering.
Yes.
Really, isn't it? Like in certain ways, it's a really great excuse to get a lot of good people together.
Yeah, I feel like motocross and that sort of lost
Yep.
that a bit. It'd become all too serious. I'm not talking to that guy for whatever reason, because he's in my race or... Dude, I'm quite a social butterfly, you know? Like, I love talking to people. I don't hold a grudge against someone unless they deserve it. And even then, I try and get over it real quick because any time I waste on that, it's time I could be putting into myself. So I feel like motocross towards the end for me was like getting real stale, you know, like it was pretty serious. Hooligan racing is like a heap of pissheads riding around in their mate's farm back paddy. It's awesome.
It's good, isn't it?
So good. It's what it should be.
It should be. Yeah, it brings it back to just the basics of riding a bike, just going out and enjoying it.
Yep.
That last day we got at Ipswich.
Yep.
Same deal. Like
Yep.
it's a good group.
Yep.
It's fun.
Absolutely, dude.
It's close to home.
Yep.
Be good if, like, hopefully, once all this, whatever settles, it'd be good to get all that back together and get everyone back
Yep.
together and
Yep.
get out there.
I learned a fair bit at that Ipswich practice day, actually,
What do you mean?
because the morning was real sticky,
Yeah, it was really grippy.
and I felt like I was ripping, you know,
Yeah.
like I love the grip. Then it got real dusty and slippery.
Yeah.
Everyone was smoking me,
Yeah.
dusting me. Had
Is
nothing
that because you're
overriding it.
the road, used to the grip, riding on the road a lot?
No, because backing it in, you need
Yeah.
the grip.
Mm.
I believe with the way that I back it in, I need the grip to stop me.
Yeah.
When it was dusty, it's basically like backing it in on a heap of marbles.
Mm.
You just don't stop.
Yeah, just keep rolling forward.
I just keep going off the track.
Yep.
So I learnt quite a lot there. I wish I had a bit more of that experience before I went to the States and raced at Industry Hills for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Have you ridden at Maryborough yet? Did you get up there?
No.
That was
got
supposed to
canned.
happen just before, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so I've never actually ridden an oil track.
Yeah.
The boys all rode at Kempsey. I couldn't make it because I was working.
Yeah.
They loved it. Is Kempsey this oil track?
Yeah, Kempsey's all there. Green
So they
Speedway.
raced there. They loved all of them.
It's
come
awesome.
back just like frothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I need to get to do that. But yeah, so I am definitely keen to do it.
Get back
and
out.
Maryborough hitting us up for a while. Big red-headed bloke there. I forget his name.
Smiley.
Smiley.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Nice
And-
man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and quickly on that, because I met Smiley at Conondale
Oh, really?
with a magician, Ollie. Now, this guy, Ollie, I have to bring this dude up because he does all of our machine work for our motors.
Right.
This guy, I hold in very high regard. I couldn't put him any taller on a board. He's been a huge attribute to my business. And that's just business hat on. Huge.
What is it, a machinist?
Yeah. He does all our crank rebuilds, our head porting. The guy, everyone knows him. Anyone that knows motors in Harleys knows of Ollie.
Hmm.
He's the dude, right? A lot of people, shitloads of people utilise his work. They may not promote it, but it's Ollie's work in there.
Wow.
And that's why they're getting what they're getting. I tell everyone it's Ollie's work because the man's due not only our respect, but due the credit for sure.
And was he out at Conondale with Smiley?
Yeah, so he was out there, introduced me to Smiley, and because he did all the machine work in my sporty I ride now. That's why it rides so good.
Right.
The motor, it is not a powerhouse, right? It's perfect. He could make it faster if I wanted it faster, but he knows what you need on the dirt. He used to do a lot of flat track stuff in the States years ago.
Mm.
So he knows what it needs. He knows what every motor needs, I believe. And he'll probably, if he does listen to this, he'll probably be like, oh, dude's pissing in my pocket a bit. He's the man.
Wow.
And he's a very humble man.
Yeah.
And willing. The first time I rang him, he's like talking to my dad. He's a real hard ass, real old man. Doesn't really say goodbye when he hangs up. He's that kind of guy, right? Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
right? And which I respect. And the first time I rang him, who's this? How'd you get my number? And then he started quizzing me on a few things, you know, like, yeah. And then he threw some things out and I was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I like to think that I gained the man's respect,
Yeah.
that I was going to take the piss, that I didn't pretend I knew everything.
Well, like it was a test.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. He may not have been, but I felt like it was a little bit. And I like to think that I achieved that and that I gained a little bit of his respect and we worked together, you know. He'll tell me if I'm wrong. He'll tell me if I'm a dickhead. That's someone you need in your corner when you're building motors. And we're a package, right? So I'm very fortunate that I'm able to utilise that inside of my business.
100%.
Yeah.
And
He put me on Smiley. Then Smiley watched us race at Conondale. And then he was like, dude, you've got to come up here.
Yeah, cool.
Because he's racing around on...
Triumphs?
Triumphs, yeah.
He's always been, like, I haven't seen him since I used to race up there, which is probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And he hooked. He was always on Triumphs.
Fast.
And,
Yep.
big man too.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I believe Ollie built the motor in that.
really?
Yes.
Beautiful sounding Triumphs too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I
it would be.
believe.
Yeah,
I believe.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. It's good to hear that he's still around. Like,
Yeah.
still doing it, still part of it. Like, flat track is a thing that once you're in it, you just do it forever. Like motocross, you can't because it bangs you up quite a lot too. Like there's a few people that can go to vets and stuff, but flat trackers just hang in the sport.
The guy that won at Industry Hills was like 57 or 62 or...
Really?
Yeah.
Well, look at Randy Berriman.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
this old boy. He's 50 something like that, and he's still killing it.
Yep.
So in hooligan stuff. So
Yeah, it's something you can do for a long time.
Yeah.
That's another beauty of the sport.
Yep.
Another thing is you can be piss fit and do it.
Yeah.
So
How many laps is hooligan?
12?
Yeah, right. Yep.
It's a short track.
Yeah.
8th mile.
Yeah.
I think that's like a main event. That's like a long race.
Yeah.
Sultans of Slide, just to I know we're jumping around a little here, but just to jump back to that quickly,
Yeah.
I take my hat off to those guys. They put together a great event.
Mm.
That is what Australia needs.
It
Way
is.
more of that. They had the flat track, and then they had, I forget what they called it,
The TT.
TT.
Mm.
So, and then there was a jump and like cutting through the middle of the field and like rollers and another little jump and like mixed it up. The dudes that do flat track flat out were smoking us on the flat track. Then went to TT, they're nowhere to be seen. Makes it more adverse.
Mm.
So there could be guys there that suck at the flat track but rip on the TT. Dudes that rip on the flat track but suck at... There's going to be those guys there, and there were, that are like, it's bullshit that they bring the TT in, blah, 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 or it's bullshit that it's flat track. No, it's not. Makes it so much more adverse. It's fun.
Yeah.
Look at the fun in it. Don't worry about what you're coming.
Yeah.
It is fun as.
That Wagga one,
Yep.
that jump looked huge. Was it?
Pretty scary. It wasn't actually that big, but you needed quite a lot of pace to jump it.
Yeah, right.
There's a video of me and Jimmy Gamble jumping it side by side.
Yeah.
That was...
It was nuts.
Dude, you come like sweeping left-hander, full flat track corner.
Yep.
Then it pinched right, then hits the jump.
Yeah, right.
And we're like side by side, because I was behind Jimmy. Jimmy gets the best starts, dude. That guy rips.
Yeah.
And always beats me on the starts. If I beat Jimmy on a start, I would almost pull over and do a cartwheel. I'm stoked.
He's asleep. Basically, he slept at the start. Because of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just be so happy to beat him off
Yep.
the start. You know, like that'd be enough for me. And then, and we always have the best battles. And so side by side, because we ride together so much, there's a lot of faith there too that we're not gonna. We could touch, but you know, we're not trying to.
Yep.
And side by side, round that pinch, hit the jump together. It felt unbelievable. It even looks cool on video. If it looks cool on video, you can imagine how good it feels.
Yeah, when you're actually there in real life, it's even different, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Yep.
I hope, and I don't know what's going ahead with that this year, but I hope it comes back in some form or
It will.
something like that.
It will
So,
for sure. I spoke to the guy that sort of ran it all a bit. Terrible names.
Dave?
Sure.
Yeah.
And he's got it worked out.
Yep.
He's got the formula for sure.
Mm.
He's creating a fun event,
Yep.
but it's more serious than Das Hustle.
Mm.
Das Hustle have figured it out to create this fun as event.
Yep.
They've just taken it a step more serious.
Yep.
Yep. Which is what a few of us are chasing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're investing time, like a fair bit of time and travel into it. You
Dude,
sort
I'm
of
a
want that
competitor.
next, and you sort of want that next drive,
Yep.
don't you? So,
Yep.
what other things can we see you riding in the next, 2 to 3 years? We say Finke hopefully next year if it's on, which it should
Yep.
be.
I want to go ice racing.
Yeah. Why?
Why not?
Yeah, fair enough.
Dude, I'm just trying to... We're not here for long, and I'll probably have even less time to be physically able to do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
It may not ever happen, ice racing, but I sort of want to do like X Games, Finke, ice racing, sort of the next thing I want to check off my list. From there, who knows?
X Games, did you ever, same deal, you grew up watching Krusties, like you said before. Could you ever imagine yourself riding in the X Games?
Well, I didn't make it.
No, but
Oh, no.
you're
no,
on
mate,
the edge
I
of
didn't
that.
even...
You've ridden in America. It's a
yeah.
good start.
Absolutely. I never ever thought that I would even be in the conversation
Yeah.
to get anywhere near anything like that.
It's incredible.
Oh, dude, we're sitting in this tiny little bum town in Nambour.
Mm.
Like I say, I've never really been good at anything. Not to a point of that kind of... Nowhere near the point of that kind of calibre. You know what I mean? Back of the pack, A grade.
Yep.
it's not that good.
You're out there though.
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I've always grinded. I think that's what helps me with the Harleys.
Yeah.
They're hard to ride. Takes someone with a certain mindset, I believe, to be good at it. Yeah. Yeah.
Mate, I reckon we're pretty much done.
Sick. Cool.
Anything else for you?
No, I just, if I could, it's not a plug, but if I could thank everyone that helps me, and they all know who they are, obviously, because not even brands helping me, the people, like I said, mum, dad, the missus and everything, but everyone knows who they are, and even the group of people that I have around me, all the people I go ride with, and they might look at me like, that's sick that he's here and helping. They help me. They help keep me where I am. They've helped build this with us. I keep going back to Jimmy and Liam Walton. Liam Walton's been a huge help for me. Mudgy, Mitch OG59, he rides in our stunt team as well. All those dudes, they deserve the shout out, you know what I mean, for sure. And then even Robbo and Bailey and all these other dudes that just help me so much to keep my feet planted, keep me moving forward, light the fire under my ass sometimes when I lose that flame a little bit, you know. Definitely, for sure. And thanks for having me, man. I'm stoked.
Thank you, number one. So, as I say, like it just...
Can only go up from here.
Oh, shit, yeah. As I say, it was good. Fits the brand, fits everything. And as I say, we've talked so much the last year or so.
Yeah.
It's an easy chat. So thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks.
See you, mate.